Hi guys, it's Shar. Welcome back. Thank you so much for returning and listening. As you can hear, my voice is pretty much back to normal. Thank God. I feel 100% better. I was like really sick, honey. I couldn't even talk without getting in a coughing frenzy. I thought I had RSV, but I didn't. But so you guys, thanks for returning, thanks for listening. As you can see, this video is about Destiny Payton, okay? Now, I wanted to get into this a little bit. I hope it's not real long. I hope the video is not real long because when these videos are long, they're boring. I don't care what you're talking about, okay? But Destiny, I feel like she played herself, right? I do. I feel like she got dealt a really good hand, but did not play her cards right. She didn't play her hand right. She was dealt a good hand because she was actually selected and actually approved to be on the show and was on the show. That's a hell of a hand, especially for a business person or entrepreneur, because promote. Like, you can get your business or businesses out there to this platform of millions, because the show is seen in so many different states and everything like that, right? So that's the beauty of being a part of something like this, which is why Stormy paid to be on the show, allegedly, right? That's what they say, that she paid to get on Love and Marriage Huntsville. I don't know if that's true, so I have to say allegedly. However, it is in these YouTube streets and out there in those internet streets that she paid to come on the show. And that's why, because the promotion and the platform to get her business name out there is like no other. And I don't know about you, but I hadn't heard of Canvas Beauty before she came on the show. I know a lot of people probably have, but I hadn't. No shade. I just really hadn't. So, she just didn't play her cards right, and it's so unfortunate because this guy really was the limit. It's just about how you play your hand. It truly is. And she did not play her hand well. She decided to jump on the side of the Scots, which is male's op. And that was a bad decision. But I have no idea why she chose to get on. Well, you know what? I think I do know why. It's because Mel, she started realizing that Mel was pretty much dropping her as a friend. So she had to do something. She had to get on the side of the Scots. Otherwise, she really wasn't going to be featured on the show that much. Mel dropped her. Mel just dropped her because she realized she just wasn't the kind of friend that she wanted to have. We remember that scene for Mel's album, not her album release, but her video release. I forgot the song. But over at Stormy's house, and she coming at her talking about, I want to be your village. Well, no, Mel don't want you to be her village no more, because she has realized that you going back telling Martell she got 3 and 4 and 5 babysitters or whatever the case may be, or the kids was here and there, here and there, here and there. That's how Martell was finding out in the first place. So yeah, she realized that and was like, I can't even deal with Destiny. I can't trust her. But, the other thing I wanted to, and I wrote some notes because I do have a little clip, a little audio of Destiny being interviewed. I'm not who she's being interviewed by, but she made some little, not points, but she said a few things that I wanted to bring up. First of all, no one's going to support you, and this isn't anybody, not just her. This is anybody. No one's going to support you when you're not liked. You got to be likable for people to want to support you, the person, and support your businesses. Like, she started being ugly in terms of, how she was moving. Going off on Tiffany a lot of times for no reason. The stuff she was doing to Mel, the whole village thing, and just being nasty, but you want support for your business, really? And then she made a point of saying that it was viewers, fans of the show. I don't know if she didn't necessarily say millimeters, but fans of the show that was boycotting Madani Beauty, literally outside Madani Beauty, trying to boycott it and coming in her face, like actually confronting her about issues or things on the show. Now, people got to know, I mean, it is reality TV. I wouldn't say it's scripted, but it is staged. A lot of the scenes are staged. Like, it's real issues or real things that's going on with the people, but production will be like, remember when you and Mel had that discussion, or and she thought you said this or that. Talk about that, like bring that up today on this episode, or when we're shooting right now, bring that up, or call Tisha over here so she can be here when Mel is here, so maybe they can hash out their issue while they're here together. You know what I mean? Like, they stage it. So they say that's what they say they do on these reality shows. So for people to just get in her face, and I mean, now that's serious, that's way too far. It's way too far, and it's wrong, and it's dangerous. It's dangerous for both, all involved. But it's crazy people out here, so that's unfortunate. We don't like Destiny's fixture on the show, but I don't want to see the lady get beat up by anybody or hurt by anybody. That's too much. So, but I feel like if she had just talked more about her real life, the good and the bad, I mean, she could have kept something to herself, but I just feel like people would relate it to her more. And she talked about that her ex filed anywhere between 20 to 30 different motions in court against her during this divorce. Like, what the heck? What kind of motions? Like, they was only together, far as legally married, for a little under 2 years. I don't think I mean, no diss to her or anything, but I'm saying I don't think she really brought any assets. So what the heck? But you guys listen to this audio, and I'll be back.
Yeah, I'm gonna list the things. I mean, we've talked, and so I'm not gonna share anything that we haven't already said was okay to share. But you're going through. You just went through a divorce, relocated to Huntsville. Let's see. You had a son. I mean, it's a lot. You had a son that was hospitalized. What, at 2 months? Divorce. Yes. And like 30 motions, for 30 legal motions.
Oh, yeah. Definitely over 20 in the last couple of years have been filed. And to talk about my son, who was pregnancy number 6 for me, because I had 5 miscarriages prior to him, and for him to get here and safely during a high risk pregnancy, while I was mandated to sit on my back on bed rest, because he wouldn't be here if I didn't just sit down and stop everything. So I had to leave my career, my job, and solely be dependent on the person I was married to for everything. And then shortly after he was born, 2 months, he was in the hospital for almost a week, fighting for his life, literally.
So these are not easy situations. Now let's talk about opening a store, a brick and mortar store, during COVID.
Well, and I was wobbling around, probably 4.5 months pregnant. So even though on bed rest, I still was trying to make sure that kept moving. And I opened in the end of January, early February, and COVID hit March the 14th, where everything was shut down. Well, COVID was already going on, but Alabama was shut down March 14th. So I wasn't even open a month before I had to figure out what to do and what was next. So yeah, that was a interesting journey, which is how I ended up with the online aspect of Madani Beauty, because that was the only way I knew to pivot, was to put everything online.
And I mean, let's keep it all the way funky since we talking, right? You got people boycotting your show, your store, showing up to your store, addressing issues with you that they're seeing on TV in real
In real
life.
life. Yeah, not being able to separate the two. So, that's been a interesting and difficult journey, and it's sad because a lot of the people that are doing that are making a mockery and a joke of a black business being going through their ups and downs, and a business period that somebody put their blood and sweat and tears to into, and especially the type of business that I have and how hard it is to even get into that industry and to sustain in that industry. Um, so yeah, and but the funny part about it is most of the people that support Madani in locally, the brick and mortar, are people that are fans from out of town. So I see more fans popping in and out of the store than I do our local
Yeah, yeah.
community.
And so that leaves you with some decisions to make about how to move forward in that. There's a lot of change, there's a lot of grief, and there's a lot of change that's happening at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So tears are okay.
But you know, I got a problem with tears. I'm a gangster.
We
So
should explain why everybody like, wait, hold on, why? What's going on, right? What's going on?
yeah, that song will do it to you though. Just listening to it, it's like, in those moments of feeling powerless, like if nothing else, God, I need you now.
Now, here is her posting about her dad. He had cancer. He's currently cancer free now. To me, this is the stuff she could have been or should have been sharing with us. This is real, the realness of her, the ups, the downs, you know, not just the downs or the ups with Madani, but just her life in general. Hence, you're on a reality show. Like, she could have done so much with the platform, but she just fumbled the bag, literally. Fumbled the bag completely. She got some followers. People are liking her. She got 100,000 followers on her social media. So, people are still rocking with her. Everybody don't hate her. Everybody don't dislike her. It's just, it is a selected few, or a selected group, I should say. But yeah, I don't know. She did not know what to do with her platform. What happened was is that when Mel basically decided not to really be friends with her anymore, it threw her for a loop. She didn't really know what to do after that. You know what I mean? Like, she didn't know really which way to go, but she knew she still wanted to be on the show. So I guess in her opinion, her eyes, the best thing to do was to get on the side of the Scots. And I guess that was really the only thing she could have did, if she wanted to still be on the show. So in her defense, I guess that was the best move for her when she realized Mel was pretty much done with the friendship, in terms of, just liking her from a distance, but that wasn't going to, allow her to be on the show really. So I guess she really kind of did what she had to do in that regard, now that I'm kind of thinking about it. But yeah, what do you guys think? Like, wouldn't you have not necessarily appreciated her, but wouldn't you have kind of rocked with Destiny a little more if she was like talking about the 30 charges, or not charges, but the 30 different motions her husband was throwing at her, her ex husband was throwing at her during those times? Like, I don't know what the heck the emotions could have been besides half custody of the kid, selling of the home, and that's really not emotion. So I don't know. I don't know what motions, it could have been up to 20. But, you know, again, that's something that we didn't know, that we could have known, and we would have been interested in hearing. Um, I never found out if that whole thing about the cease and desist was accurate or true. I never knew if that was. I mean, thing is, he just didn't want his name brought up, but you still could have talked about what was going on. I mean, but I don't know the nature of it. Like, I really don't know the details of it or the wording of it. Maybe she truly could not talk about what was going on at all, you know. According to her, she couldn't, so she said, but I don't know. But it would have been nice. It would have saved her job, I think. I mean, maybe she could have went back to her lawyers and said, well, can I just not bring up him or bring up anything that he's directly doing or saying to me, but can I just bring up the different scenarios that I'm going through, you know, in the courts, or make references to certain scenarios or whatever. Something, you know what I mean? Like, fight for your spot on the dang on show. You can't just keep showing up and being involved in other people's lives and not really talking about your own. I mean, I'm surprised Carlos King worked with you as long as he did. And I feel like he did that because he genuinely liked her and he genuinely thought she was going to be a little spice to the show. And technically she was. She really was in the beginning. So yeah, she should have scrambled and fought hard for content for herself on this show. That's what I would have did if I was in her situation. Like, what can I talk about as it relates to this whole divorce thing? Like, I got to be able to talk about something. You know, get it cleared with your attorney. You know what I mean? The whole house thing, you know, they could have showed her at her house, her calling, trying to find new houses to buy or rent, or whatever. Maybe not buy, because I remember her saying that her credit wasn't good. She went over there to Maurice at Credit One to talk to him about helping her get her credit score up. I wonder, did they help? Did Credit One actually help get Destiny's credit score increased? I wonder. Because Credit One is known for not actually helping people, but taking people's money month to month. But people are complaining, saying their credit scores are not going up. So, I mean, who knows? Everybody is just smoke and mirrors on this show a little bit, just about. Not everybody, but a lot of them. The Scotts definitely are. Both Maurice and Marceau. We all know that. But, yeah, you guys tell me what you think about Destiny. I mean, I just feel like if she had to really try, like, sat down in her house with a glass of wine, maybe one of her friends that she said she got, and they sit down and write out what all she should talk about or can talk about, or what all she could do or can't, you know what I mean? Like, fight for your spot on the show. Like, you know, I gotta be out such and such date. I don't know what I'm gonna do. You know, a cliffhanger. Like, it's something. Even if they don't even go back to her saying that she had to be out on a certain date, and here it is, she's just still in the house, and we don't know what happened. All we know is that she's still up in there. But, you know, that would have been something, you know. Just she could have just gave us something. She didn't never give us anything, really. They pulled out of her at one of the reunions that she got the divorce a little under 2 years of being married, and then he divorced her like a month later or something like that. And then her son was in the hospital not too long after she gave birth. I mean, she could have talked about that. I mean, he didn't put a cease and desist on that. She could have been talking about that. It's a lot of mothers who've had children where their child went into the NICU or what have you right after birth. She could have talked about that experience, and she would have touched a lot of different women, because that is very, very common, where people are having children, women are having children, and their babies are sick, and they have to, stay over in the hospital, you know. So she could have touched a lot of women with that story. But, hey, I don't know. I don't know. What I do know is that Destiny fumbled her bag badly. And as far as I'm concerned, it looks like to me, and you guys drop down in the comments, tell me what you think. I feel like Destiny's going to be a friend of. She's going to be a friend of the show. I just feel that. I don't feel that she's going to be gone, like, completely. And if she does, it is what it is, or whatever. She did it to herself. But I feel like she's going to be a friend, obviously, of Tisha and Stormy. When Stormy and Tisha get together or have events or do things, Destiny is going to be there. Don't you guys think that? I do. I truly, truly do. I do. And what led me to believe that is when she was a part of the comeback group, women in business event that they had, and she was there. She was a part of that. Somebody asked her to be, I think the girls asked her to be a part of it, obviously, and they, got her a table, put her table together, because I hear she did not put her table and her display or any of that together. People did that for her. I guess the people that was helping put the event together got her a table, the tablecloth, the balloons, just the whole decoration and all of that. Obviously, she brought her Madani products, but they did the setup for her. So, yeah, I don't know, Destiny. I just don't know. I'm not in her shoes. She did do her best. It just seems like she didn't do her best in terms of she could have just talked about anything that was going on in her life just to stay on the show and continue to get a paycheck. You know what I mean? Because being a friend of, I know that pay went completely down. Like almost, I don't know what it went down to, but it obviously is demotion. It's definitely a demotion. But yeah, I feel for her in a way, but she just wasn't likable. She just wasn't likable, and she wasn't relatable. And then not to be likable really, and to get on the show and become an enemy to one of the characters on the show that the majority of the people or viewers like, is like, now you're really about to be hated. So, yeah, I don't know. I do not know, but you guys tell me what you think about Destiny. We saw that picture or that video of her with her dad. That was touching, I remember hearing her early on in some of the episodes saying that he had cancer or whatever. And I thought, like, why aren't they showing that? Like, with her visiting her daddy, or, going to the hospital or whatever that consisted of. But she showed on her social media when he was cancer-free and was able to ring that bell. That could have been shown. You know what I mean? It was so many things I feel like that she could have touched on outside of the divorce, that would have just kept her in the game. But again, like I said, she fumbled the bag. So you guys tell me what you think. Do you feel like Destiny is going to be a friend of the show and is going to be over Letitia and Stormy's house? And do you feel like she fumbled her opportunity on Love and Marriage Huntsville? Drop down in the comments. I do talk back. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and set your notifications. Bye.